Rachel Carson was the voice that woke the world. TH's presentation is an exploration into the life, legacy, and sense of wonder of the woman now recognized as the mother of modern environmentalism. The visual layering of ocean waves and seabirds within her profile symbolizes her deep, poetic connection to the natural world. This presentation will trace her journey from a literary star to a courageous activist who challenged the chemical industry to protect our planet's future. This image captures the seismic shift in environmental thinking sparked by Rachel Carson's Silent Spring. On the left, the pre-1962 mindset views nature as something to be conquered. This better living through chemistry era relied on aggressive pesticides to enforce a manicured, pest-free world. On the right, the Carson paradigm reveals the interconnection of life. It illustrates a complex web where beavers, roots, and aquatic life form a delicate, self-sustaining ecosystem. Carson's legacy transformed our role from masters of the earth to stewards of a fragile, interconnected network. This image traces the origins of a scientist-poet. Between 1929 and 1932, Rachel Carson earned biology and zoology degrees from Chatham and Johns Hopkins. In 1936, she made history as the second woman hired by the U.S. Bureau of Fisheries for a full-time professional role. The spark of her public influence arrived with Romance Under the Waters, a 52-week radio series. This project showcased her unique gift for transforming dry fish biology into captivating public entertainment, bridging the gap between rigorous science and lyrical storytelling. Gemini said. Before her era of activism, Rachel Carson achieved literary stardom through her evocative Sea Trilogy. Her 1951 masterpiece, The Sea Around Us, won the National Book Award and dominated the New York Times bestseller list for 86 weeks. With over 1 million copies sold in translations into 28 languages, her commercial success was staggering. This financial independence allowed Carson to leave her government role to pursue writing full-time, setting the stage for her future environmental influence. The source of strength in Rachel Carson's life was her deep connection with Dorothy Freeman. Beginning in 1953, Freeman served as Carson's emotional anchor, their bond cemented by a shared love for the Maine coast and the song of the veery thrush. This relationship provided a vital sanctuary against the sterile world of the 1950s, offering the support Carson needed to fight her lonely environmental battles. As she wrote to Freeman during the creation of Silent Spring, her sense of duty was inseparable from their connection to the natural world. In the post-World War II era, a military mindset repurposed wartime chemicals for agriculture, aiming for a utopian, pest-free, sterile world. The scale of this intervention was massive. Chemical use skyrocketed from 4,366 tons in 1944 to over 81,000 tons by 1963. The reality, however, was indiscriminate killing. A prime example was the USDA's fire ant program, which blanket sprayed millions of acres to eradicate a pest that was often merely a nuisance, ignoring the broader ecological devastation left in its wake. In 1962, Rachel Carson's Silent Spring redefined pesticides as biocides that infiltrate the entire food web. Her work exposed the mechanism of harm, biomagnification, showing how poisons concentrate as they move from water and plankton to fish, and finally to apex predators like eagles and humans. Carson argued that these chemicals are not just temporary bug killers, but persistent toxins that accumulate in fat tissues, causing chronic genetic damage across generations. This fable for tomorrow warned that our chemical assault on nature would eventually silence the songs of the wild. The publication of Silent Spring ignited the industry fury. Fearing for their bottom line, Velsicol Corporation threatened a libel suit to halt the book's release. Simultaneously, the National Agricultural Chemical Association launched a massive PR campaign to discredit Carson's findings. The opposition reached a fever pitch when Monsanto published The Desolate Year, a grim parody, arguing that abandoning pesticides would cause global famine and societal collapse. This coordinated corporate assault, backed by substantial budgets, aimed to bury Carson's warning under a wave of industry-funded skepticism. Beyond industry threats, the backlash against Rachel Carson took a sharp, personal turn. Critics weaponized sexist tropes, labeling her hysterical, a spinster, and a mere bird lover, to dismiss her as an emotional woman rather than a professional peer. The rhetoric also turned political. She was branded a, quote, communist sympathizer and un-American to fuel Cold War suspicions. Despite being a trained scientist, Carson's credibility was attacked by PR men using character assassination, This irony highlighted a desperate attempt to bury scientific truth under gendered and political noise. In 1963, Rachel Carson stood firm against her critics. While she testified before Congress about the dangers of biologically potent chemicals, she was secretly battling aggressive breast cancer and enduring grueling radiation treatments. Her courage was met with ultimate vindication when President John F. Kennedy's Science Advisory Committee released a report that largely upheld her scientific findings. Despite her failing health, Carson's voice remained clear, warning that we had placed poisonous substances into the hands of those largely or wholly ignorant of their potentials for harm. Although Rachel Carson passed away in 1964 at age 56, her work sparked a revolution. In 1970, the first Earth Day was celebrated and the EPA was created. By 1972, DDT was banned in the U.S. While revisionists claim her work caused malaria deaths by banning DDT, the truth is different. The World Health Organization actually phased out DDT because mosquitoes developed resistance to the chemical, not because of Silent Spring. Carson's true legacy is a world more conscious of its ecological footprint. Beyond the data and the battles, Rachel Carson's core philosophy centered on a, quote, sense of wonder. She believed that scientific facts alone were insufficient. To truly fight for the natural world, people must first learn to love it. This ethos, which now underpins all modern environmental education, emphasizes that a child's inborn wonder requires the companionship of an adult to keep it alive. For Carson, nurturing this emotional connection was the only way to ensure the long-term protection of the Earth. Rachel Carson's life was defined by extraordinary achievement across multiple spheres. Her literary prowess earned her the National Book Award and the John Burroughs Medal. Her scientific contributions provided the first public explanation of bioaccumulation and ecosystem connectivity. Politically, her work was the catalyst for the Clean Air and Water Acts and the creation of the EPA. Finally, her civilian impact was cemented in 1980 when she was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, honoring a legacy that forever changed our relationship with nature. Rachel Carson's work fundamentally shifted the burden of proof in science. The old way assumed chemicals were safe until proven dangerous, allowing unchecked pollution. The Carson legacy introduced the precautionary principle, demanding that safety be proven before widespread use. This foundation for green chemistry and sustainability remains vital today. However, a warning persists. The tactics once used against her, manufacturing doubt and using fake experts, continue to plague modern climate change debates. We conclude with Carson's powerful assertion, the obligation to endure gives us the right to know. This final slide serves as a call to action, acknowledging that while the sterile world ideology persists today, Carson's life remains an invitation. She encourages us to rediscover our own sense of wonder and use that emotional connection as a shield to protect the vast, intricate web of life. Rachel Carson, 1907 to 1964, didn't just provide us with data, she gave us the moral authority to demand a healthier future. As an addendum, this infographic, Rachel Carson, the voice that woke the world, synthesizes her journey from a marine biologist to a global crusader. It tracks her academic beginnings and the Sea Trilogy that made her a national literary phenomenon by 1951. The narrative shifts to her 1962 challenge against the conquest of nature mindset, exposing the dangers of pesticides like DDT. This paradigm shift catalyzed the creation of the EPA and her ultimate recognition with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, honoring her for sparking a new environmental consciousness.